Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 259.
It is.
It is.
It is the future.
It is the future. It is the future. How are you, Nick, in the future?
I'm very well, I think, in the future.
I think I'm fine too.
Excellent.
What is all this future talk of which we speak? We are recording this episode far in advance.
Weeks
Weeks in advance, because if anyone stalks me in my private life, you'll know that I'm not in the country. The reason we're saying this now, and most people are like, I don't know, I don't care, I'm listening to this way into the future. This is an old episode to us. It's just in case we say something that is very weird, or we haven't acknowledged that the world's on fire.
Yes, there could be some devastatingly exciting current event that we're just going, oh, well.
Yeah, that we haven't brought up and like, my God, you're not talking about that famous poisoning right now. It's because we don't know. It's not happened yet. And also, if we're confused at this point, it's because that's what we do.
Yes.
We try to record as close to airing date as possible, not for any kind of
Mainly
artistic
mainly
reason.
because we're lazy.
Mainly because we're rushing at the end going, oh God, we found more sources. But otherwise you're well, as far as you know.
Yes, as far as I'm aware.
I think I'm fine. I think
Excellent.
I'm lying down in the sun.
Or I could be
Splishy splashing
speaking
in
to you
the
from beyond the grave.
Don't say that. Don't, crossing myself. You don't say that. You don't wish that upon yourself. Oh my God. Oh, the Catholic kicked in me there. Like, don't you be saying that. Any poisonings that you're planning? That
I'm planning to have happened in the past 2 weeks.
Any poisonings that you're planning? Is there anything that you would like to poison? You got your eye on and going, yeah.
Nothing concrete as of yet.
No.
There's some plans in the offing, but nothing coming to fruition just yet.
Oh, okay. Any sort of large figures or kind of anything summary that you want to do away with?
Large
Figures, I don't know, Colossus of Rhodes. I was trying to say, like,
fat
annoying
people,
things.
hate them.
Wow. This is what we'll get cancelled for, Nick. No, like, I meant to be, like big news topics or celebrity figures.
I don't know. We're 2 weeks away. There could be...
Now.
But now is the past.
Oh, yeah. At the time of recording, if you're planning it. Don't give away your plans, obviously. Then they'll be ready, won't they?
I'm just going to say no.
Okay, no, that's a good answer, I feel. Normally, this is also the time we would thank our Patreon subscribers. We are waiting until we're back from our break. We don't know who they are.
Assuming there are any.
But let us do a huge thank you in general to our Patreon subscribers who support this show, who make this show happen. They are wonderful, wonderful subscribers, and it's a wonderful community on Patreon. We've made friends on there.
Oh, no, it's mad.
There were mutterings after a joke that we made the other day. It's like, should there be a Patreon dating app? Because people are like, actually, we wouldn't mind meeting some other Poisoner's Cabinet people. Maybe we'll set that up. That's a special tier that we'll do. I don't think we should be in charge of it.
I think that's probably wise.
I think it's wise that we don't do that. But there we go. But Patreon is not just about that. It's where you get more episodes from the Poisoner's Cabinet, more content from us every single week. And also a huge thank you to all of our listeners. If you are not in a position to join us on Patreon, we completely understand. Just the fact that you listen to us, that people download this show every single week, that you leave us reviews, that you send us nice comments, that makes all the world of difference. We so appreciate everyone. And thank you for sticking with the Poisoner's Cabinet. And if you've just found it, welcome. Hello. We've rattled through that quite quickly.
Quite quick, yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any feelings you want to add?
Slight peckishness.
Oh, are you peckish? Nick is marinating some chicken as we speak. Yeah, so that's that to look forward to.
Indeed.
If this is slightly rushed, it's because Nick has chicken on the line.
I've got chicken to eat.
Well, Nick, are you ready?
Go on, then.
To drink cocktails and talk about poison?
Probably.
Oh, we can drink poison and talk about cocktails.
Yeah.
Shall we go with the first one?
Okay.
Hooray. It is my story this week, and we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. I've just realised the thing that we normally do is we had fun on Patreon this week, but we don't know what the episode was.
But who knows what it wasn't?
Who knows
I have
what
no
it was?
idea. It'll be great.
Yes. And this week's secret ingredient is, Nick, bleach. It's finally the week we're going to drink bleach.
It's a delightful cocktail ingredient.
We're going to get in the bath and drink bleach. Like,
do we have to be in the bath for this?
I just feel like we're setting it up for a very depressing kind of film that was shot in the 60s and was not okay.
Right, and they took place in the bath.
There was a phase in various books, I won't go into it, whereas like people were drinking bleach and stuff like that. That was the only poison available to them.
Right.
This is not what this story is about.
I'm glad to hear it.
But bleach, lovely, cleansing.
Yes, one way of looking at it.
It's one way. It'll clean you out. So yes, with bleach as your inspiration, your ingredient.
Yeah.
What have you come up with?
Difficult to make a cocktail out of bleach.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
So I've tried. I've tried and I've tried, and you just can't make it taste good.
If I had sent you bleach and you turned around and said, no, that's absolutely fine.
That's fine.
Yeah,
fine.
I'd be worried.
So, well, what I did think, if only, because we're doing this in advance and we recorded a few episodes today, it would have been a really good one to do like a clarified one, but they take like 4 weeks.
They do, yeah. They take a long time.
They take a lot of prep and a lot of setup and stuff like that, but it'd be a great ingredient for, to do like a nice clarified, sort of crystal clear sort of thing.
All the impurities gone.
But we haven't done one of those because I haven't had time.
No, okay, good. Would have been a wonderful thing.
It would have been a wonderful thing, but
do you
we
want to
haven't
sit
got
and
that.
imagine it for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's
That's
done.
nice. That killed an extra 20 seconds. So what I did ponder is, what does one do with bleach?
What does one do with
What
bleach?
does one do with bleach?
You clean. You
clean.
clean your toilet. You clean the surfaces if you're being a bit fast and loose with people's lives. You dye clothes. You can bleach.
You whiten things. You whiten
things. You do. You bleach the old teeth.
You make things white.
You make things white. All right.
So
okay.
we're going to have some white satin.
White satin?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't bleach satin, though.
Well, you do to get it white in the first place.
Do you, though?
I don't know. Go with it, all right? I don't know. There was a white linen, but it was a miserable looking cocktail, so I didn't want to do that.
White linen. White linen does seem like it'd be a really, really
it was like cucumber and gin and soda, and it was like bleh.
No. I'm just like a modern sort of person, I really understand these things. Oh, shut up.
Got a lot of
white
cucumbers.
linen. Yeah, white satin.
But we're having white satin.
White satin sounds slutty and daring. I like it.
That's what we like.
And like a night in white satin. Could have really gone down the route
Could have
there.
really done, but
okay, so you bleach some satin.
Bleach some satin.
It's ruined, but it's white.
But it's white.
Okay, so a white... Screw it, let's go with it.
Go with it. You got anything better?
No.
Well, there we go then.
I gave you lots of options for ingredients.
You gave me cheesecloth.
Well, we'll come to that.
There's not that many cheesy cocktails.
I also gave you...
And again, it would have been a great one if I had time to clarify something.
Yeah, I know, I did give that to you
It would have been brilliant.
I gave you another ingredient that you haven't gone with.
You also gave me toilet paper.
I did give you toilet paper.
Again, not a common ingredient. Great for filtering, again.
Again, the filtering. The other one, don't say it. The other one I sent you would have been a bit on the nose, but seeing as you haven't used that, I'm going to save that big reveal for the episode. I mean, if you've seen the title, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, okay, white satin. Lovely. Ooh, shimmery.
Shimmery slidey.
Slidey. Slinky slidey. All right. Well, I think that it is high time for us to slide into the poisonous cabinet kitchen and shake up storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
No.
Well, Nick,
Yeah.
the white satin that you've bleached.
It's not very bleach.
It's not really. It's more of a dirty... Dirty satin.
Dirty
It's
satin.
a dirty satin. We've already had one cocktail today, guys. It's sort of a mocha coloured.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of a brownie, like an iced coffee
Yes.
colour, which I don't think it is. But it's not screaming white
It's not
satin
screaming
to me.
white satin, no.
Maybe it feels like white
Maybe.
satin. Maybe it has the silky texture of a white satin. Yeah, right. It smells of booze. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess we should dive in.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I took a really big gulp of that, sorry. There was a really, really weird front taste to that. That was... Did you put soy sauce in this?
I don't believe so, no.
It's got that taste.
It really hasn't.
It does. It was like a hoisin soy sauce kind of... I don't know why. Maybe it's because you've been marinating chicken. I was like... Why does this taste like hoisin sauce? I'm not kidding.
It doesn't taste of hoisin sauce.
It does, people. And I'm not opposed to it because I quite like hoisin sauce.
Try it again.
Can I?
Yeah, I think it's probably for the best.
Right. I'm scared now. So what happened then?
Were you just necking hoisin sauce when we went to the bathroom?
Pretty much, yeah. This is what I do most of the time when you go to the bathroom. I just go in there and go, yum, 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 with a spoon. Right, okay. I'm still getting hoisin sauce. I don't know why. So
I can tell you officially there is no hoisin sauce in here.
It really does taste like that. Okay. That aside, I'll come back to that. It's something has hit my brain or my taste buds. However, creamy, pleasant, but weird. So there's cream in this,
There's
right?
cream in that, yes.
Because you asked me to bring you cream.
Because I asked you to buy cream on the way.
Okay. Is there coffee in this?
There is.
So is it the coffee liqueur?
It's coffee liqueur.
Mr. Black
Yes.
you have, which is a fine coffee liqueur, not like your Kahlua. Not too sugary. Okay, that. Oh, what else is in there? Is there something nutty in here?
Not really.
Not nutty.
Not nutty.
Why are you saying not nutty like that?
No,
Biscuity?
It's not. No, I get where you're getting the nutty from, but it's not a nutty thing.
Okay, fruity? Twiggy?
It's a difficult one.
What? Twiggy? Is it an Amaro or something?
No,
like last...
no.
Okay, so not nutty, not fruity, not twiggy, not sleepy, not dopey, not... Floral. Branchy.
So I suppose it has, there is...
Spice.
There is a botanically twiggy, herby thing going on.
Good. We've established a lot.
Yeah.
But what? Herbally, botanically, twiggy...
It has many...
Is it many things? Drambuie?
No.
Am I on the right lines?
Ish.
Drambuie. Like Jaeger?
No. Think south. From Jägermeister country goes southwards a bit.
Is Jaeger from Germany?
Yeah.
What? South from Germany? Switzerland? Italy?
Yes.
It's Strega?
No.
It's Italian? Campari?
Yes.
No. Twiggy, herbally... Oh, God.
Twiggy, herbally...
Benedictine... No, Benedictine's French.
Not Strega. Still yellowy. Not Strega.
Still
Vanillary.
Galliano.
Galliano.
Bloody Galliano. Bloody Galliano.
That hasn't come out for a long time.
That has not come out for a long time. So, okay, right. So the coffee liqueur,
Yep.
the cream, the Galliano.
Yep. Some
Base-
milk. That's it.
Oh, there's no other base spirit.
Nope, that's it. There's those 4 things.
Okay. Why does it taste of hoisin sauce? It fucking does. It does. It does. What is it about my taste buds?
Perhaps some fell in when I opened the cupboard. I opened the cupboard and just some fell in the shaker.
I mean, I am going to drink it, obviously.
Because my cupboards are just flowing with hoisin sauce.
It's never not happened when I've opened your door and just a sea of hoisin sauce
just a wave
comes out.
comes out.
What do you think? I always come out of the kitchen licking my fingers like, that was a good trip. Maybe it's a Galliano, bloody Galliano.
I think it's a Galliano throwing you.
Is it off?
I don't think so.
Is it turned? Because Galliano is vanilla,
It's
but
vanilla
herbs.
it's got like 25 botanicals.
25 botanicals?
25 botanicals.
Oh my God, it's like that Huel drink I drank earlier
So
on.
it's got 25 other things in it.
Science-backed botanicals.
It's too carried away.
Okay, what do you think of it?
I don't mind it. I mean, yes, I agree. It has got an odd flavour.
An odd flavour.
That is not hoisin sauce.
People. It is. Please make this. If you've got the ingredients, and they're not easy to come by. Don't go out of your way, especially. But
it has got a.
It's
And I don't object to it at all.
I don't object to it. I could drink a bottle of hoisin sauce. Watch me later. But it's odd. Maybe it's a weird taste thing like that some people have where you just kind of go, my flavour profile has gone in that direction.
Yes, let's go with that.
Not just that I'm an idiot.
If that makes you feel better, let's crack on. It's genetics, it's in my genes.
Like, coriander tastes so Galliano tastes hoisin sauce.
My father and my father before him was always the same.
Not the Galliano, no. Dipping his fucking spring rolls in it. I think we've learned a lot. It fucking does. Sorry, every taste it's going to be lovely. It is a cereal quality, but also this a taste of the Orient. There we are. Okay, well, this is a fun one, people. Enjoy. Maybe you know what? Alchemy has happened in a glass, which we can lean into later. We're enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great fun. It's great value. So if
good discussion cocktail.
If you have the ingredients, please, someone make it. And you can all weigh in and go, you're insane. If one person out there goes, I see what you mean, Sinead, then I will feel validated. Or please also weigh in, listeners. Have you ever drunk something and you've just gone, it tastes like this, and no one else understood it? Or maybe there's a food, or there is that sort of thing where you go, to me, that tastes weird. Please let us know. That will make me feel better about this whole experience. Well, with the white satin, firmly in hand. It is lie upon lies. Are you ready for a story, Nick?
I think it's about time we should have.
I think we should. So this week, Nick, a tale we have. I don't know why I'm building it up like that.
Okay. A tale, you say.
I was trying to pad until I actually read the words that are in front of me. We're going back to a favourite subject of ours that we have been visiting recently. Nick, picture a witch.
Okay.
Go on. Picture a witch. Now, what do you think? Actually, you know what? Scratch that, because you know all about witches. Most people, if you ask them, describe a witch to me. What do they look like?
Pointy hat, big nose, warts.
Wow.
Probably a broom.
Yeah.
Pointy fingers.
Yeah.
Cat, cauldron.
Yeah, very, very oldie-worldy kind of idea of a witch. If you were to describe a witch, what would you describe a witch as?
I don't know.
Same? No, just because you know all about witchcraft.
Any old person walking down the street.
I like that energy. They're a witch. Burn them! People have ideas of witches in their heads and the era that they come from. But most people probably wouldn't describe a prim, smartish woman in a simple terraced house in Scotland, sitting in a huge box.
Sitting in a box? Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The witch's box.
Throw me there. I'm not familiar with the witch's box.
Oh, you've not lived, mate. Today, we are revisiting witches once again. We've been talking about them lately. We've been talking about the people who invented them. Thank you, King James. And
who invented witches.
Who invented witches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fight me on it, really. Why he might have been shouting about them and saying, everyone's a witch. Really, is it about the witches? And we've done many a story in the past about famous witches and witchcraft. But a bit of trivia that I always love and is often thrown out in the old pub quizzes when you do them is, when was the last witch in the UK convicted?
Oh, it's going to be like 30s or something like that, isn't it?
Most people would sort of go, oh, it must have been the 1700s or the 1800s.
It's going to be, relative. 20s, 30s, something like that.
I think you'll find it was the 40s. The 1940s.
I wasn't far off.
Yeah, exactly. Not far off at all, because you know witches are everywhere, apparently. Oh, they're down the street. There they are.
They're in the walls.
They're in the walls. They're in the galleones.
Stealing your hoisin.
In the 20th century was the last time that someone was convicted under the Witchcraft Act, accused of witchcraft and convicted for it. And a lot of people will tell you it was the so-called Blitz witch, Helen Duncan, the last witch of Scotland.
Nice.
Or was she?
Oh, was she?
Well, let's see. But we definitely need to tell Helen's story.
I think we probably should.
Because it's mad and crazy and fun and weird. Now, lots of people look at the story of Helen Duncan, and the resources on her are, there's some very good books out there. There's various articles about her and what she did. Some take a judgmental attitude towards it. I will state for the record that there have been books and people have written about her, people quite close to her, trying to be a bit more sympathetic as well. I'm going sort of down the middle, but also we'll take views on what happened.
Okay.
Helen, she was born in Perthshire in 1897. She was born Victoria Helen McFarlane. Yes. And her father was a slater. Loved a slate. Loved a slate, he did. Worked with many a slate. Her mother, Isabella, she would look after the children, and she was quite a devout member of the Presbyterian Church. So a lot simpler and humbler than those Catholics out there. None of that fancy stuff. Now, whereas her parents were simple, hard-working folk, very committed to the church, and so was Helen in her youth. She did attend the church quite a lot. Helen, or Nellie she was also called, was described as a little bit more wayward, which people would love these days. Wayward, oh yes, nods there, but a little bit wilder, a little bit weird. That's the other way of describing her.
Okay.
Also described, in some of the books, described as sturdy.
Right.
Sturdy.
Always a delightful to be described as sturdy.
It is always nice. Through her life, there would be repeated references to her sturdy frame and just full-on fat phobia about her as well, which isn't particularly nice. Yeah, handsome woman. Not handsome woman.
Sturdy woman.
Handsome, sturdy woman. Yes, deep black hair.
Was she a gym teacher by any chance? Something like that?
What, who hoarded chocolate cake? Yeah. No, not that sort of energy, really. But very deep black hair that was said to be so black it was almost blue, which I love that kind of description. description. Yes. Whereas Isabella, her mother, was plain, subdued, sober. She would get on with her chores. She would go to her church. Helen was a tomboy, a bit of a wild one. She would hang out with her brothers. Oh, my goodness me. And she would be off running around swimming in places that she shouldn't have been swimming, local ponds and pools. And her mother always seemed to know when she had been out swimming when she wasn't supposed to, even though Helen thought that she had covered it very well. There was one book that was written about her that Helen was convinced her mother might have had the gift.
Or did she just go in dripping wet?
Pretty much. Yeah, that was it. Her mother...
You're covered in seaweed.
My God, how did she know? I covered it so well. It's like, mother said, well, I can tell that you've done up your clothes the wrong way round.
Yes. And you're carrying a towel.
You've got a fish in your mouth. It's all a bit weird.
More hoisin.
More hoisin. Just only gets more hoisin-y as you go along. Maybe it's like 5 spice.
There's more in there.
I'm going to have some.
Yeah, because there's more in the tin.
Yeah, we're going to get that and we're going to order some geyser in a minute. Yeah, delicious. She would be described, Helen, in her youth as having sort of varying like flights of fancy and other side hysterical fits. No indication that she was suffering from anything medical induced fits, but maybe might have been today diagnosed with ADHD, maybe something on the spectrum, but just sort of running wild. And this is a time in the 20th century where we don't have time for unruly girls like that. No, sit.
None of that.
There were some who would say that Isabella was very despairing of her daughter Helen and her wild ways, and she needed to calm down. And as I said, even though Helen was quite committed apparently to going to the church, she wasn't being good and normal and calm. But then others said on the other side of it that Isabella actually understood that she was a wild child and that she might have talents, powers. Maybe the gift had been passed to Helen as it had been through generations of the family. This gift, this ability, apparently, to talk to and commune with spirits.
Always handy.
Always handy. Always very good. So as I said, there were some factions who thought this ran in the family and it was quite accepted. Others who, this was the first occurrence of it, Helen suddenly saying, I can talk to spirits. The mother had no idea about this and disapproved. So when Helen started talking to spirits as a young girl, it still caused a bit of a stir. It wasn't exactly normal. She was headstrong and she liked attention, certainly. And some people might say that, a very good way of getting attention is saying, I can talk to ghosts.
I mean, you're allowed to do it.
Yeah, and not only can I talk to ghosts, I have messages. For all of you. They want you to know things. And when you are a tween and then later a teenager who was sort of walking around the schoolyard saying, well, I've seen your dead grandfather and he has this to say, and also you're going to die tomorrow, it's a weird energy.
You're going to get noticed, yeah.
Yeah. Some have thought that possibly Helen might have seen a fortune teller in her time, or may have seen or started to see this, because obviously we're in this period when she is a teenager. We're in World War One. We're getting into World War One, the start of that, and later, the country is in turmoil. We're coming out of the Victorian era where there is definitely an interest in spiritualism. It's sort of dipped and waned at different times, but there is going to be a lot of interest in communing with the other side at a time of international crisis and loss as well. So it's a little bit of possibly hyperbole where people go, was she inspired by something? Did she see someone performing? Did she read about spiritualism and think, hey, that's a really good way of getting attention?
That looks fun.
Or did she sort of adapt to it and think, oh, that's me, I can hear voices in my head, whereas no, that's just your internal monologue. Yeah, but she was suddenly saying that she could see the dead and the dead had messages for her. In school, she told her teacher, she told fellow pupils that she had seen people from their past, and rather than making her more popular, which she actually apparently thought that would, the kids are like, well, no. If you go to that side of the playground, yes, we will stay over here.
Keep away.
She's very frustrated because she's special. She has this power, but they're avoiding her because they don't want to hear about when they're going to die, really. She told one of her teachers, apparently, there was an incident where she was writing on her slate that her dad had given her. No, in the school, you'd be writing on your slates, and there was a test that was supposed to take place. And she told her teacher that she didn't know the answers, but the answers had appeared on her slate in different handwriting. And the teacher's like, well, that's just you scribbling in different handwriting. Yeah. But she would talk about how she didn't know what to do at school. She didn't know the answers to stuff. She didn't feel particularly intelligent. But answers to questions would suddenly pop into her head. And I think
that's what they do when you think about things.
That's very much that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's sort of like I suddenly knew the answers.
Yeah.
Like, did you think about it for a
second? Think about it for a bit and go, oh yeah, that's the answer.
I remember that one. Yeah, there was one incident that was reported many times in the books about her, that she was sitting in a classroom once and she heard the number 1066. 1066 was repeating over and over in her head, and the teacher was writing about the Battle of Hastings on the blackboard, and she suddenly knew it took place at 1066, and the teacher wrote this down, and then the teacher had a massive heart attack.
Right.
Yes. Or maybe she had just been learning about Battle of Hastings.
Battle of Hastings.
And she was like, yeah, I am very much with you. And going, no, that's just thoughts. That's just thoughts and memory there. Also, this image of her as well, that she is timid and that she was unsure of herself and these powers, but also prone to rage and violent outbursts when people didn't really respond to her. You know, she was sort of quite an odd child, and then she was telling people about her powers, and if they didn't respond to her, she'd absolutely throw into a rage and into a fit. By now, the other children and some parents were calling her Hellish Nell.
Nice.
No, not the moniker that you want, really.
No, quite like that.
Hellish Nell.
Hellish Nell.
Hell's Nell. Parents like, well, yeah, we're quite good church-going folk. We don't really want the hell word associated with our daughter. Yes, it's a very stressful, miserable time for the country, that the daughter may have been acting out, may have been thinking about, well, wanting a better life and all of the misery and all of the deprivation that you would be suffering at that time, dreaming of a better life and trying to get more attention and being more than just one of many people who are having to endure. Helen would leave school and home age 16, and she would go on to work in a munitions factory and later as a nurse in the Dundee Royal Infirmary.
Nice.
So she got her job. Parents are like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Hellish Nell has gone, everyone.
She's out of the house.
She's out of the house. All the neighbour people going, can we come out now? So she won't just go, oh, good morning, you're going to die tomorrow. While she was working as a nurse, she met a colleague, Jane Duncan, and then she was introduced to Jane's brother, Henry, who was recuperating at the hospital. He was a war veteran. He had been wounded in action, but now he was a cabinet maker.
Nice.
A fine cabinet maker.
Everyone needs furniture.
And the two, as soon as they met, it was like they were made for each other. Instantly. Apparently, he said to her on their first meeting, we meet at last.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of like, I've been, finally,
yes,
how
finally.
do you do? Finally, I meet you. I've been waiting all my life for you. We're 20 or something. Yeah, they would later claim, well, she would later claim she'd had visions of him. And he would be like, I had exactly the same absolute feeling. They do fall in love, made for each other. Surely now she's married, good husband, good, steady, reliable job. He's going to keep her in check. It's going to be the end of Hellish Nell. Oh, no. Henry, all for her psychic powers.
Okay, well, excellent. Supporting his wife.
Exactly.
Supporting his partner.
Supporting her. She's like, I see dead people. He's like, brilliant. I love that. So 21-year-old Helen walks down the aisle with her new husband, but she's actually saying yes to her partner in crime. She'd met her equal, and together her and Henry are going to take her ghostly visions and prophecies to a whole new level. Ooh. So by day, Helen had quit her job as a nurse, and she goes to work part-time at the bleach factory. That's it.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the only reference. And I did give you more ingredients, but you chose bleach. So that's what we're going with, and the ingredients will become clear very soon. But yes, she's working in the bleach factory, bleach all day, and at some point has 6 kids.
At some point.
But 6 kids
it's a busy life, bleaching.
Exactly. 6 kids is not a small amount of children. They actually had 8 and sadly 2 passed. So 6 children, but just people go, they had 6 kids. I was like, when? People sort of go, yeah, she was doing that. And then let's get to the weird stuff. It's important to put the context in there. So there's 6 mouths to feed. Henry, wounded war veteran, as he said, cabinet maker extraordinaire, but was not well, and his injuries and the injuries he'd endured in the war apparently were affecting his work. He ended up having to stop working pretty much. There's a very dramatic version of events that Helen was at work one day doing the bleach, and then had a vision of Henry collapsing in his workshop, and she runs to him and finds that he has actually been overcome with his sickness and an illness and injury, and that he can't work anymore. So everything's kind of reliant on Helen. She is working in the bleach factory. It's not big bucks to feed a family of 2 adults and 6 children. He's doing his best, but yeah, they're not bringing in a lot of money. And so what if...
There's children to work.
Put them down the mines.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Apparently, well, they weren't earning enough. Whatever they were doing. So Helen and Henry start talking, and it's like, maybe, you have some skills.
Well, you have a gift.
You have a gift, and it is a gift you can give to others to help people. And if we make a bit of money on the side, well, what's the harm? So Helen does start offering her services as a clairvoyant. And she's never been quiet about her abilities and her gifts. So certainly people around her, we can only assume, would have come to her for readings, for information that she would have passed on. And now she is giving readings to people and charging them for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so just making a little penny. People are invited over for seances. She's sharing the voices that are speaking to her and passing on messages. Very simple, very nice. A lot of other people are doing it, and people are all here for it. There is a market for it. If she could help people to connect with the deceased, with their loved ones, she's doing everyone a kindness, and that kindness can be paid for in money.
In cash,
in money. Gratitude's very nice, but could I have some money, please?
But cash is better.
Exactly. Old-fashioned tenable currency. So far, so what?
Quite.
We've dealt with psychics before. We've dealt with them.
We've seen them off.
We've dealt with spiritualists. We've dealt with people who have claimed to have the gift, and then you've got people coming around for seances, and they're whispering the messages or whatever, and they're making money. Lots of people are doing it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Lots of people are doing it. Really, it's not making her different from all the competition.
This is true.
Yeah, you need to have something.
You need to have a gimmick.
That's going to set you apart. Yeah.
As Gypsy says.
A little bit of a gimmick. Something a little bit more gimmicky.
Gotta get a gimmick.
Who hasn't conned people into believing their loved ones are talking to them for a bit of cash? I know you have, Nick. For a little bit of money or another drink, at least. Helen's paranormal side gig would keep food on the table, a roof over her, children's head, but it's not going to make you the big bucks. So it's time to think about you need to have a bigger, stronger, better appeal.
Big picture.
Than other mediums out there. So in 1926, Helen is nearly 30. She's about to turn 30. And it's such a coincidence that her and Henry suddenly discover her other ability.
It's convenient.
Yeah, that not just chat from beyond, the whispering chat that she gets. Helen can conjure the spirits.
That's impressive.
They can make an appearance in front of people. Now, it may not be the physically full-formed spectre.
But some sort of spectral projection, some sort of presence.
Yeah, a presence, a physical manifestation of your loved ones with messages.
And hat.
And a hat. The hat's not... Well, maybe there were hats. I have not seen any hats in the evidence that I've seen. And evidence there was. She had various voices from the other side who guided her on her stagecraft. Sorry, her abilities. This was what she claimed. That her services, I don't want to say act, even though I definitely mean that, were guided. Her and Henry got messages from one of her spirit guides. One of her spirit guides was apparently called a man called Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams from Beyond, who was instructing her how to conduit the spirits.
Well, if it's a doctor, it sounds authentic, doesn't it? You give him some credence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's...
A doctor of what, though?
It doesn't matter. He's a doctor.
I am a doctor of feet.
He's respectable.
He's respectable. So Dr. Williams was whispering from the beyond and explained that it was best if she sat in a big wooden box. A cabinet. Henry's a cabinet maker.
Well,
so
that's very true. Could I make it?
Can I make it? Yeah, absolutely.
It's tax deductible, you know.
Yeah,
put that through the business.
Business expense. Makes her a big wooden cabinet. Makes her a big wooden cabinet. That is the perfect sort of, yes, absolutely. You can channel the spirits from there. And she would sit in this cabinet, put a curtain over the front of it. Oh, no, she's hidden. And people would come in. People would come in and they would sit at the table or chairs in front of her. The lights would be dimmed. And there she is in the cabinet behind the curtain. You draw back the curtain. There she is in her flowing silken robes. Not white.
Potentially satin, though.
Satiny, silky robes. Potato.
Slightly off brown colour.
Dirty white. Yeah. Well, really black gown that she would wear and all these flowing kind of robes. And she would sit. The lights have to be dimmed.
Oh, yes.
The ghosts do not like bright lights. Maybe a red light later on if you could get one, but really candles and dimmed lights. And they would sit and wait with bated breath for Helen to be possessed by the spirits. And in the darkness, she would channel some of her spirit guides, and a ghostly figure in white would loom out of the shadows right by Helen. This figure floating above her, Peggy, her spirit guide.
Okay.
Peggy was a regular guest at the seances. Peggy was her friend and was one of the conduits for the spirits, and Peggy would help to bring others over. And people would see Peggy. Peggy became as famous as Helen at this time. She was always there to guide things, and it's an eerie sight. It's very, very frightening. So there's Peggy, and then suddenly Helen begins to cough. She begins to cough and retch in front of people, and spectators would watch in disbelief as Helen regurgitated something not of this world. She would sit, and from her nose, certainly from her mouth, she would spew out ectoplasm.
Delightful.
Mm-hmm. Ectoplasm was an ingredient. Surprised you didn't make anything with that.
I should have done, really.
But here's this vision of Helen in the box, scary box, looming ghostly figure right there that people were terrified about.
Vomiting God knows what.
And she is vomiting out this paranormal substance, white stringy material that was said this ectoplasm is what the spirits...
Was it white string?
It wasn't string. She wasn't just spitting out like threads of threads, spools of thread, or just like one of those kind of like streamers. No. Like this white material that comes out of her mouth, and it was said the deceased would use it to wrap their spirits up to create temporary bodies. So this ectoplasm is a physical manifestation, allegedly, of the spirits from the other world, and them being there. She can use those to talk to the spirits, and they would convey messages, and people might be able to touch them very lightly. No, don't get too close. Don't get too close. But there you go. Your dead mother is here in the form of this goo.
I mean, we know she loved goo.
She did. She loved a ghostly goo. No one should ever shine a light on the ectoplasm, because that will make it retreat back into the mouth very fast, and then it could damage Helen. Don't touch the ectoplasm. No one wants this. What a sight this was. And you must remember, we are thinking about this with a modern perspective. There's no lights in the room. There is faint candlelight. People from far and wide hear about this and come and see Helen, and they absolutely attest to what they have seen, that they have received messages from their loved ones. They have seen these spectres, these things. Results certainly varied. There's no guarantee. Of course, Helen would make clear that she can contact your loved ones, and it might take a couple of visits to get it right. A little bit more chat, like, can you give me a bit more background information about the person you want to contact? And, if you don't have to pay each time, but that's fine, because we'll get there. We'll get there together. And people understood and accepted the conditions. These are people who, whether they've lost them in their day-to-day life, but there's a huge amount of losses because of the war, or there's also people missing, and they want to have answers. So she sifts through the masses of spirits around her and finds the right one for the people who get there eventually. Helen is famous. Peggy, her spirit guide, is famous. She has other spirit guides called Uncle Albert as well, who apparently drowned en route to Australia. Okay. And they are flocking to take part in these seances. All the people who go are whispering and attesting to the power of her word. She is vomiting forth spirits in front of them. And a few people want to see if it's fake. As I've said, this is a room that is darkened. You've got hints of figures and shadows, and white in the darkness is going to glow, and it's going to be disorientating. So people are convinced by it. But in 1928, a photographer by the name of Harvey Metcalf attends one of the seances, and people kind of go like, yeah, definitely, I want to contact my dead cat. Sure, why not? And while he's at the seance, he snaps the famous flash photographs of Helen Duncan. They are available when you look up Helen Duncan online. They are, when you see them, they absolutely illuminate the whole room. And people would look at them now and go, what the hell? What are you talking about? How did anyone think this was real? This is flash when it would have been darkness. This is what everyone has said. I'm going like, if this was actually in broad daylight, what the fuck? And it's a time where there's no social media. No one knows what CGI is.
No, absolutely.
And even in person, even if you'd seen that sort of thing on the screen, going special effects or whatever, like, ooh, no. What it shows up is you can see Helen with the ectoplasm coming out, and you can see Peggy. And Peggy, far from being a spectre from the beyond, she is a papier-mâché mask with a white tablecloth and a stick.
Oh.
It's just a tablecloth, this head with really exaggerated eyes and lips, like a little clown kind of. And yeah, the table god then just like, ooh, the stick. And it just, in that and the darkness, would be quite striking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Nowadays, you'd go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then, no. And you can see Helen sitting with this long column of white substance, a weird long bit of material falling out of her mouth. Sometimes the substance is connected to her, she's got a blindfold on and it's connected to the puppety thing. But yeah, this whole thing that's falling out of her mouth. And this sort of illuminates the room. And the photos don't lie.
No,
it's
indeed.
like, okay, well, that doesn't really look like a ghost.
Yeah.
So surely here endeth the tale of Helen Duncan. No, even though she's been very publicly outed with these photos that look ridiculous, people can still continue to pay her hard-earned money to attend her seances. All the media seem to be making her business stronger. Peggy may not be real, but surely the ectoplasm is real. You can't argue with ectoplasm.
Okay.
More and more people continue to go to see Helen, but the rumours were that this was not spiritual goo coming out of her, but a combination of toilet paper, egg whites, and cheesecloth.
Lovely.
And I think that's time for a drink.
I think it definitely is.
Nick, we have our drinks.
Oh, yes.
Would you like to know about the ectoplasm?
A delightful combination makes that ectoplasm.
Absolutely. Well, what happens is now we have the skeptics really doing their investigations, really honing in on Helen Duncan. And in 1931, both the London Spiritualist Alliance, now the College of Psychic Studies, that still exists, and famed paranormal investigator Harry Price, who is working with the National Laboratory of Cyclical... I can't pronounce it. He's working with a laboratory.
Yep.
Can't pronounce it. Go to investigate her case. Starting with Harry Price, because sometimes the Spiritualist Alliance is mentioned first, and I can't remember who goes there first, but it's Harry Price who goes, and his account is famous, and I have it here. Price paid Helen £50, which is the equivalent of about $4,500
Yeah, it's
today,
a lot of money.
to come and do experiments. And she accepts. She accepts and come on in. Absolutely. No one can attest to that, because she thinks that he's just going to be sitting there and watching this. And how could anyone deny it? Because certainly people have been paying and lining up to see her. Harry needs a sample of the ectoplasm. And he also needs to watch the seance. And he wants to examine it with his equipment. And he's got quite advanced equipment.
And lights.
And lights. Even if he goes no lights, he's got other stuff that can be used. But he's having a very hard time because Helen starts kind of going, maybe not. And here is Harry's account of his fourth seance. Now, this is quoted many times over. You can read it online. So, Harry describes, we led the medium to a settee and called for the apparatus. The apparatus that he has is an X-ray machine. So he can sort of scan and see whether or not she's got anything on her person. He wanted to prove that she's not eaten anything. At the sight of it, the lady promptly went into a trance. She recovered, but refused to be x-rayed. Her husband went up to her and told her it was painless. She jumped up and gave him a smashing blow on the face, which sent him reeling.
Excellent.
Perfectly rational.
Absolutely. So far.
It's painless. Yeah. So she's just punched her husband in the face.
Brilliant.
And she wasn't going to stop there. Then she went for Dr. William Brown, who was also present. He dodged the blow. Mrs. Duncan, without the slightest warning, dashed out into the street and had an attack of hysteria and began to tear her seance garments to pieces. She clutched the railings and screamed and screamed. Her husband tried to pacify her. It was useless. I leave the reader to visualize the scene. A 17-stone woman, clad in black sateen tights, locked to the railings, screaming at the top of her voice. A crowd collected and the police arrived. The medical man with us explained that position and prevented them from fetching the ambulance. We got her back into the laboratory and at once she demanded to be x-rayed.
Okay.
In reply,
all of a sudden,
Dr. William Brown turned to Mr. Duncan and asked him to turn out his pockets. He refused and would not allow us to search him. There is no question that his wife has passed him.
His bulging pockets.
had passed him the cheesecloth in the street. The indication she has run out screaming, husband, come over, my darling, take this, take this, take this, take this. Apparently, it goes on as well. They gave us another seance, and the control said we could, sorry, the control being her.
Yeah.
At this seance, they said we could cut off a piece of the ectoplasm when it appeared. The sight of half a dozen men, each with a pair of scissors, waiting for the word, was amusing. It came, and we all jumped. One of the doctors got hold of the stuff and secured a piece. The medium screamed, and the rest of the, he calls it teleplasm, went down her throat. This time, it wasn't cheesecloth. It proved to be paper, soaked in the white of egg, and folded into a flattened tube. Could anything be more infantile than a group of grown men wasting time, money, and energy on the antics of a, sorry to say this, fat female crook?
Oh dear.
I mean, don't like him like honing in on her weight there. No need ideal. Harry Price. But Harry Price obviously is a very famous paranormal investigator, has various issues, but was there, apparently was all game, thought he could actually, she would be the proof and give him the proof, but then ends up sort of looking, going, well, what did you think was going to happen, maybe, as well, but writes it down. The London Spiritualist Alliance, as I mentioned, also published their findings of their investigation in 1931, and from a sample obtained of the ectoplasm, which they took as well, it turned out that it was cheesecloth soaked in egg whites, sometimes mixed in with toilet paper to solidify it. Their experiments concluded that Helen would eat the cheesecloth before her seances and then cough it back up when she needed to conjure the ectoplasm. So it's a lot, and it's a long stream, solid stream of this. So it is a talent, if anything. Apparently, an investigator at one point gave her a tablet of methylene blue spirit, which is harmless, like it's this blue tablet to swallow. So if she coughed anything up,
it would come out blue.
It would come out blue to prove that this isn't something paranormal that's just appeared. You are regurgitating this. So she took the tablet, no ectoplasm. Oh no, there's no ectoplasm tonight. Oh, the spirits don't want to do anything. So yeah, it didn't come through. She was convicted of fraud in 1933.
Well, that's interesting. Sorry. Did you say, okay, well, there's no ectoplasm tonight? So she's sitting there with a stomach full of cheesecloth or cheesecloth and egg white.
I mean, how she got the cheesecloth into her system is sort of, no one had a definitive answer for it. So we don't know whether she palmed it and then, she waited in the darkness to sort of slip it in, kind of do that and then regurgitate immediately. Or she had a talent for regurgitation, which some people can absolutely do. It's quite disturbing. But and could cause massive damage. But with the tablet taken, she was like, oh yeah, there's no ectoplasm, because it would absolutely prove that she'd swallowed it. So I mean, she probably could have passed it off, but she didn't do it. So she was convicted of fraud in 1933. This is from an account on her. In a seance in 1933 in Edinburgh, apparently the spirit of a little girl, also called Peggy, supposedly emerged in the seance room, and a sitter named Essen Mall grabbed her, and the lights were turned on, and the spirit was revealed to be from a stockinette undervest. So just a piece of material. And the police were called in this instant. So this spirit that's walking around the room in the dark, they turn it on going, it's a bit of cloth. And she was arrested. She was prosecuted and fined £10 for fraud. But nothing's going to deter her from her craft, from her talent.
She seems quite convinced.
Yeah, she is. And people believe her.
People are still trying to give her money.
People are just handing over the cash, and this leads to her getting into big trouble. Big trouble relatively, but still big trouble. And famous trouble. In 1941. November 1941. We are right in the middle of the Second World War.
Yeah.
And Helen is holding a seance in the town of Portsmouth. And she reveals some startling news. She claims that a sailor by the name of Sid had materialised from her ectoplasm that she'd produced. And she told everyone that he had died on the British warship HMS Barham. HMS Barham, she said, had sunk in the Mediterranean Sea with the loss of 900 souls.
Okay.
Great story for the audience. Oh my God, people who are gathered there to go, well, what's happening to our loved ones? She knows about a ship that's been sunk. Okay, well, maybe she's making it up. She's not making it up. This actually had happened. People who were there waiting for news of their loved ones, Helen, if she can give them information.
I'm assuming this was not widely publicised about or known that this ship had gone down.
No. The Navy had not announced the news of the HMS Barham sinking.
Okay.
All the next of kin had been informed of everyone lost, but it was not publicised. They were holding back the news and they were going to release it later. How did Helen know? All right. 900 souls lost.
900 families know. So.
She's in Portsmouth. She's travelled. She travels all over.
Yeah, and she's in Portsmouth, which is where the fleet is based. A lot of people there are going to know.
If she's heard from someone, she's going to use her network.
It's going to be talked about in the pub or something.
Someone has mentioned it to her.
Yeah.
Now, maybe other people would mention it to each other and it would be sort of an open
she's
secret.
She's overheard.
But she's using this to make money. She is using this information to con people. To con people who are there going, what's happened to my loved one? What's happened to the soldiers? I haven't heard from them. And she's going, yeah, it's sunk. And here's the spirit of your dead departed, who obviously is not there talking to her. Some people may think that. So, yeah, the Navy now have a problem that there's this medium airing their dirty laundry. Airing information that, even though it's about to come out, that's a secret.
Yeah.
She can't be talking
secret.
about that.
No.
No. So 2 lieutenants are dispatched to her home, to her next seance, to attend undercover, and they want to get to the bottom of Hellish Nell's latest bout of chaos. Now, during the seance, Helen tries to convince one of the lieutenants that a voice has come through from him. She doesn't know, obviously, they're from the Navy. He is just a punter who's turned up.
Yeah.
And she says, yes, it's the spirit of your dead aunt wants to talk to you.
Okay.
He says, I don't have an aunt. She's like, oh, yes, I know.
It's like, surely everyone has a dead aunt.
Everyone has a dead aunt. Really? You've got no aunts? No, I don't have an aunt. Oh, I know, and it is. It's your sister. Your sister is with us. Your sister, your poor dead sister. Sister's very much alive. Is she, though?
Yes. Are you sure?
Are you sure? She's a bit dead behind the eyes these days. Yes. So he's sitting there going, okay, this is bollocks. Sorry. Leaves a seance, gives his full report to the army, which is passed on to the police. An undercover policeman also attends another one of her seances. They're all turning up to go,
this sounds great.
They do lots of research.
Yeah, I'll do lots of volunteering.
And apparently this one, it's a bit confusing the way it's written. He's going to make the arrest while he's there, and a spirit is manifested, and a spirit moves through, this white sheet moves through, and everyone's like, oh my God, and he flicks on the light, and it's Helen under a sheet. Like, it's like,
It's very Scooby-Doo.
It is very Scooby-Doo. And it said she apparently tried to hide, and I don't know whether she tried to hide the cloth and go, I don't have a cloth, or she hid under the cloth. But she's arrested. She's arrested now. It's like, because this is fraud. This is, okay, you are messing with people here. She's arrested for the second time. But she's attracted the attention of the Royal Navy during wartime, and we don't want her to get a slap on the wrist. We are sick of this. This is awful. And I guess the police and the authorities are also like, there's too many mediums going on. There's raids happening all over the place because you are defrauding people.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many thousands of vulnerable people out there that you are taking advantage of.
Absolutely. It's getting really difficult. And these people, you can only assume, are then calling the Navy saying, a psychic has told me this, the psychic has told me this. It's like, what the hell? Helen is at first arrested for violating the Vagrancy Act of 1824, making it illegal to beg in England and Wales. But that would only result in a sort of slap on the wrist. Minor offence. The fear was that she would continue to exploit the bereaved and other people would continue to do it. Go, oh, what kind of deterrent is that? Never mind. To take her off the street, she needed to be charged with something much bigger, something that actually put her behind bars and upcropped the Witchcraft Act.
Can you imagine them going through the statute books going, what can we get her with? And someone going, oh my God.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Yes. It is in the Witchcraft Act of 1735. This would see her in court in front of a jury for her fraudulent behaviour. Now, at this point, she has been upgraded to the Blitz Witch. That's her name now. Hellish Nell, Blitz Witch. And the entire country want to see what's happening because she's been charged under the Witchcraft Act. Have we got a witch? We're going to do a witch trial?
I mean, that seems like a dangerous precedent to set. Because you're in effect saying that the government believes in witches.
Well, I will come on to the law for this. Just hold your horses.
Hold my thought on that one.
But you are right in your assumptions that people see Witchcraft Act Oh my God, we have witches. Right, someone's being tried as a witch. Oh my God, burnings, everything. Everyone's all excited. The press are covering this. There's pictures of her. There's cartoons of witches on broomsticks. They're like, oh my God, there's going to be all of this. Witches are amongst us. She is charged, and again, this is simply from the Wikipedia entry that on her as well. Alongside her, several other people are charged with conspiracy to contravene this act, amongst them Ernest and Elizabeth Horner, who operated the Psychic Centre of Portsmouth. There's a woman called Frances Brown, who was Duncan's agent and set her up with seances. 7 counts were placed against her.
It's bad when witches need an agent.
You're a witch's agent. All right, tell me what you need. More broomsticks? Love it. So there's 7 counts. 2 of conspiracy to contravene the Witchcraft Act, 2 of obtaining money by false pretenses, and 3 of the common law offence of public mischief. That's what she's done. So Helen is not allowed to give public demonstrations in the court. She tries. She asks. Her defence go, would you like to see her powers? And they went, no. The judge goes, shut up.
We're good, actually.
Absolutely not. Ultimately, the ins and outs of the court, so there's various reports online. It's not terribly interesting. It's the jury finds her guilty of 1 count, and that is one of the counts under the Witchcraft Act. She is guilty. The judge says you can dismiss the other counts for Helen. She's done. She is going to be sentenced to 9 months in prison. She's going to jail. She would only be released under the condition that she never practice seances again. On hearing her sentence, Helen apparently cried out in court, "I have done nothing wrong. Is there a God?" Well, you're sort of pissing in his face, really, Helen, aren't you? The conviction lands her with the moniker of being the last, people say that she's the last, person charged with being a witch in the UK, because it's under this act. But this claim, just like Helen, is fake news. Because, as you alluded to, okay, so Witchcraft Act, original 1563. Which is burn them, burn all the witches, hang them mostly, but some burnings will be fine. It's illegal to be a witch. Can't be a witch. By 1735, a whole 180, like, well, okay, we really went over the top.
We went over the top, yeah.
With the witches, 4,000 people were accused. There's been a lot of deaths. We need to sort of rethink this, because this got out of hand. So the new version of this law, weirdly, is now it is illegal to accuse someone of being a witch. It's illegal to accuse someone of being a witch or possessing magical powers. But the new law stated it assumed that there are no real witches. No one had real magical power. So claiming such powers meant that you're fraud, that you are a fraud, that you're extorting money from gullible people. Essentially, that's the quick explanation. Yeah. So weirdly, the Witchcraft Act of 1735 acknowledges there are no witches. There are no witches, and if you are saying that you can speak to spirits from beyond, which used to be part of the original one, going, that's a sign you're a witch, this now means that you are a fraud.
Okay.
Which I like that. I do like that. So it's illegal to pretend to conjure spirits. Yeah. Which used to be the foundation of where people were hanged. So yes, she was convicted under the Witchcraft Act, but not for being a witch, for committing fraud. For
pretending to be a witch.
Pretending to be a witch. Well, she never used the word witch, but she, I am a
skills,
medium.
Yes.
That's what they got her under. Everything else would have been, as you said, like begging, vagrancy acts, and it was putting to bed the old ways of the Witchcraft Act. And using it now is that we've got to bring this into the 20th century to find new ways of saying, no, you're just committing fraud. There is no witchery, there is no spiritualism. But they were able to use it. She's let out of prison. Does she keep her promise of not doing seances again? No. She moves to Edinburgh, sets up shop again. It wasn't until 1956, 10 years after her release, that her escapades would be put to an end with her last seance. December of that year, she's hosting a seance in Nottingham. I think it's in the offices of a chiropractor. No, not a chiropractor, a chiropodist.
Okay.
I think it's something with CH at the beginning of it. Feet. There we are. And the seance is raided. It's raided, and at this point, she's about 59 years old. She's suffered ill health for a long time. She had been sitting in front of her audience. She'd produced the ectoplasm, but of course, the police come in and they shine the light on the ectoplasm. And this is the story, the legend that would be told later. It shines a light in the ectoplasm, and Helen passes out. The shock, probably, has an effect on her, but people say it's because the ectoplasm shot back into her body, and they'd always been warned, if you shine a light on the ectoplasm, it will hurt Helen. But it's not really. It's that she's suffered massive amounts of shock and probably either had a heart attack or a stroke. It was never really determined. And she would pass away a few days later. That would be the end of Helen Duncan. As I said, there were accounts about her life later on. One book was written in part by her daughter. And of course, it's from her perspective, who was trying to offer the fact that maybe Helen Duncan, she didn't have a good time in terms of the spiritualist movement. A lot of them rejected her. A lot of the press absolutely lambasted her. She wasn't very present as a mother either. So there's a lot of emotion in this stuff, but it is a different perspective on it, where a lot of people kind of go, ha, 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 oh, she's an evil fraud. You know, what was really the motivation behind her doing all of these things? But this was the end for Helen Duncan, the last witch of Scotland. But she wasn't. She wasn't the last witch of Scotland, because people mention her as the last one who was convicted. Actually, pub quiz people, if you want to hear it, people start going, where was the last conviction? You can say it wasn't Helen Duncan. It was a woman named Jane York. 1944. She was the last person convicted under the Witchcraft Act. She was from Essex. She'd been working as a medium for many, many years. She was older than Helen Duncan, and she was known for her raucous seances and her tendency to run up to people on the street going, your brother's dead.
It's going to get you noticed.
Her big party act, and deep sigh for this, she had a Zulu spirit guide whose sole aim in the afterlife was to introduce her to Queen Victoria.
Right. Love it.
There you are.
Absolutely.
There you are. But she was also making claims about people who'd been lost in the war effort, if you want to call it that, telling one man his brother had been burned alive during a bombing mission.
Delightful.
Nice. And she predicted the war would end in 1944, October. No. And she was arrested and she went to trial in September 1944. She was found guilty of 7 counts under the Witchcraft Act of 1735, but she was only fined £5 and she was placed on the equivalent of remand. She didn't serve any time because she was 72
fair.
at the time.
Yeah.
So she was the last one who was convicted under the Witchcraft Act, but Helen Duncan made all the headlines because she was a famous one because of her ectoplasm.
Yes. And yes, I have seen those pictures. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Those pictures I will put in the thing. Please look at them. They are quite staggering.
It's a slightly ludicrous day, absolutely.
But one final fact. The last person executed as a witch in the UK was in 1727.
That's quite a long time ago.
It was a woman named Janet Horne. Her name might not have been Janet Horne. It might have been something else, because Janet Horne, Jenny Horne, was a general term for a witch. It's a very sad story about her and her daughter who had deformities, being hounded down and accused of letting the devil ride the daughter as a horse and messing with her extremities, which were naturally deformed. And she was condemned and she was executed as a witch, and there is a marker at the last place where she was executed. She was the last person executed way back in 1727. So there wasn't anything else. Because some people go, who was the last person hanged? It was Helen Duncan. She wasn't hanged. No. But there you go. That is the history of the last person accused and convicted of witchcraft in England.
Love it.
And Scotland. And everywhere. Because she was Scottish.
Nice.
There you go. The story of Helen Duncan.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do we have time for a slight aside story?
Yes.
Because you have reminded me of some wartime witches.
Oh, wartime witches we love. We absolutely love.
When you mentioned like the Blitz witch and things like that, it reminded me of a story about some other wartime witches.
Oh, go for it.
Have you heard familiar with a chap called Gerald Gardner?
It rings a bell, but maybe in the research.
So Gerald Gardner, born 1880, something like that. He is considered the founder of sort of modern Wicca.
Yes,
really.
Yes.
He was very big in the New Forest. He was part he joined a coven in the New Forest in sort of the 1930s or so, and it was Margaret Murray was one of the ones that wrote about this New Forest coven, and claiming that it was a coven that sort of went back through thousands of years of sort of prehistoric druids type thing,
the horn,
and all that sort of stuff. And he joined this coven, yes, on the 30s. Second World War broke out, and he himself, by that point, was an elderly chap, but still wanted to do his patriotic duty, as long as with the rest of the coven. So they decided they were going to enact a ritual. Now, according to legend, the New Forest coven, that had been around for centuries. had previously enacted this ritual, drawing down this cone of power that they would direct against Britain's enemies.
The cone of power.
Cone of power.
The cone of power.
The first time they did it was against the Spanish Armada.
Oh, okay.
Which obviously was successful.
Yes.
They did it against Napoleon.
Successful.
Yeah, so there's times when Britain was seemed to be imminently under the threat of invasion, this coven had swung into action, performing these rituals, and on 2 occasions it had worked. So it's like, okay, we're going to do this again.
Ooh,
so
during the war.
During the war. So sort of, I think it's like 1940, late 1940s, 41. Sort of Germany had taken over most of Europe. France had fallen. England's next. Sort of Hitler's amassing people on the coast of France to invade. It does look like
the baddies are going to win. Yeah,
it looks like the baddies are going to win. They thought, great, now this is the time to do it. So they again perform this ritual, this drawing down this cone of power directed towards Hitler, and the aim is to muddle his thoughts, confuse him, put him off his game, or whatever, and prevent the invasion of England.
Yeah,
and it works.
Okay, I mean. He didn't, invade England.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
they perform this ritual. England wasn't invaded,
right?
And it's considered a successful ritual. I mean, it wasn't known about until many, many years later. He wrote about it in his diaries, and after he passed away, his collection of stuff in his diaries formed the basis of the first witchcraft museum. Originally on the Isle of Man, it was his collection of stuff that formed the basis of the first collection, and in his diaries. He wrote about how the New Forest Coven had performed this ritual and had saved England from Nazi invasion.
Saviours of England.
Or did they? England wasn't invaded.
It wasn't, but also that's a bit like saying, well, I flipped a coin the other day.
Prove it didn't work.
Prove it didn't work. I mean, I can. I very much can, because it didn't happen. Like, the people sort of say, well, prove me wrong. Prove me right, mate. I mean, that is convenient to sort of say we've done all of these rituals.
And we've done it before.
Exactly at this point. But was there evidence that he could cite that, to show we have done this on this day?
I mean, when it was written about in his... In my diaries, when I was at a certain point, I said, I definitely kissed this guy.
I
don't think they filmed it.
They should have. But they could have taken photographs.
But I think it was established they had indeed performed a ritual, as they did regularly in the New Forest.
How many rituals did they perform? Like one a year?
Oh, no, I mean frequently.
Yes, there we
go. They were there a lot, and it was quite widely written about that the New Forest was the home of this coven.
Yes,
so that was entirely factual and well established. But
law of averages says.
But performing this particular ritual, did it have the effect that he claimed it did? It's questionable.
No, it didn't. It's the same thing, is that you can flip heads on a coin 10 times in a row. It will take you potentially 13 hours to do it. But law of averages says it will happen. If you are doing rituals all the time and something happens, you go, yeah, that was it. I definitely did it. It's like, if you keep doing shit, then you can apply anything to it. Not that I'm a skeptic.
No, that's usually my job.
Weird stuff where you can link it to an actual event and go, that's a bit eerie. Someone who's just gone into the woods every day and just, thrown some stuff up in the air and kind of go, la, 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 and then suddenly, oh my God, I saved England, is a bit of a stretch. No, clearly not. Years back, they stopped Napoleon.
And
they did that.
They had done the ritual. They stopped Napoleon.
They stopped
the Armada.
Oh, there you go. That's very convenient.
It's very handy.
Nostradamus predicted so much. Some of it happened-ish.
There we go. It's all true.
Love it. Oh, I love a witchcraft story. Love a good old fraudulent witchcraft story.
A few wartime witches.
And do like a modern witch. Do like the stories of witchcraft that come out in the early part of the 20th century. They're always good value. They're always good fun. And this one, Helen Duncan. Sorry, she's massive fraud.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and absolutely exploiting people. And I know we talked about the Fox sisters recently, and who knows, your man who was doing the rituals in the New Forest, did they actually think they were helping people? Maybe they did feel that they were hearing voices, they were conduits to something, and Helen Duncan, possibly her husband, was the one exploiting it more, going, let's have just a physical manifestation so people really hear it and see it and get an idea of it. And she genuinely was hearing voices, maybe because of a mental distress or something? Or was she absolutely going, fuck it, you know?
She was in on the whole bloody thing.
But she's heard that, you know, that whole thing, that she'd heard about the sinking of that ship.
Oh, and I had used that information to exploit people.
Use that for people who are going, I do not know what's happening to my loved one. I do not know what's happening to my family. This is at a time of huge distress. And you were taking their money.
Yeah.
You were taking their money. So, yeah.
Boo.
Fucker. Well, what do you think, people? What do you think of the story of Helen Duncan? What do you think of the Blitz witch, Hellish Nell? What do you think of Nick's little side story as well of people being able to predict and prevent all of these terrible attacks on England? Love a witchcraft story, a modern witchcraft story, and there's plenty of old ones we haven't covered as well. So tell us what you think. Jump on the comments of this episode, share your thoughts, your feelings, your musings, but do mix up some hoisin sauce over ice, or as Nick likes to call it,
as I like to call it, I can't remember what it was called.
The white satin.
The white satin.
The white satin.
I forgot what it was called. But
the Knights love it, apparently.
It was very
so
tasty.
I keep mentioning that Moody Blues song, even though I don't like it.
Damn tasty beverage. Not at all like hoisin.
It was. We drunk it.
Oh, indeed, yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of people will like it, but please, for the love of God, if anyone gets a slight hint of Five Spice in this, let me know and tell me why. Why is it happening?
More importantly, go to your doctor. You're having a stroke.
As ever, keep sending us suggestions of more stories we can cover in the future. Whether they are murders, whether they're poisonings. We haven't had a poisoning in a little while. There's some old ones because we need to have big poisoning stories. But send us suggestions. You may have sent us suggestions in the past. Feel free to remind us about them. We will get to them. There's a lot that come through. And tell us weird things that are happening wherever you are. It'll just be fun.
Yes.
Do remember to join us on patreon.com/The Poisonous Cabinet. If you want to get more from us every single week, please do leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes if you're able. Follow us on all the social media channels. And when you see posts by us on Instagram, on TikTok, like, share, repost those stories. That's something that you can do to support us and other creators. If you're not able to join Patreon, engaging with our channels, it takes a few seconds and it makes a big difference to the algorithm. Just a little note if that's something that you're able to do. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.
Bye.